What we started as a very sensitive issue that governments did not really want the international community to get involved in has now become accepted as a legitimate area of international cooperation, and that governments, far from being resistant, I understand are in fact inviting, voluntarily inviting rapporteurs and my successors to cooperate with them. What is more, the guiding principles have been used in a number of countries, adopted into their legislation, and in the case of Africa, becoming the basis for a convention on internal displacement. That's a long shot from where we started. We decided to then develop the guiding principles, which when they were fully developed, we decided we should not go for a binding legal instrument because that would be difficult to be approved. Let us make them guiding principles so that they're seen not as threatening, they're seen as soft law at best, or as guidelines. And then we had the Interagency Standing Committee endorse them, so did the UNHCR, endorse them for practical application in the field. And when the time came to submit them to the Commission, we chose not to ask for endorsement, which would have been also controversial. We simply asked for taking note. And I told them that we had already had them endorsed by the Interagency Standing Committee, and I had already applied them in my dialogue with governments. So in a sense, it was what you might call a kind of a fait accompli. Building on what we had done at Brookings about sovereignty as responsibility, I decided that the way to approach governments is to tell them, I recognize this problem is by definition internal and therefore falls under your sovereignty. I am respectful of your sovereignty, but I don't see sovereignty negatively as a barricade against the international community. I see it as a positive concept of state responsibility for its people, and if it needs support from the international community, to call on the international community. But should your people be suffering and dying, and you are not able to protect them, and you don't call the world to come and help you, they will not sit and watch and do nothing. They will find one way or another to intervene. And so the best way to protect your sovereignty is to discharge the responsibilities of sovereignty. This message for the first 5 minutes with presidents were key, or with ministers, relevant authorities. And that settled well with governments. They like that you are not coming to threaten sovereignty, you are invoking sovereignty as a positive concept of responsibility.